They called her the fastest woman on earth. A dazzling smile, a streak of lightning on the track, and a name that once stood for glory, Marion Jones. For a moment, she was the embodiment of speed, power, and the American dream. But behind the gold medals and world records lay a secret so explosive, it would shatter not just her legacy, but the trust of an entire sport. How does someone go from Olympic goddess to a cautionary tale? The answer isn't simple. It's a story of ambition, deception, redemption, and the courage to live authentically. To understand Marion Jones, we have to go back to the beginning, before the scandals, before the headlines. She was born in Los Angeles in 1975 into a family that would soon fracture. Marion was just a little girl when her father walked out of her life. It was her mother, Marion Sr., who raised her, a woman of fierce determination who instilled in her daughter the belief that greatness wasn't just possible, it was expected. From the start, Marion wasn't like other kids. She didn't just run, she flew. Coaches remember her as the kind of athlete who didn't jog. She glided, her strides long and effortless. By high school, she was breaking records that had stood for decades. But Marion wasn't just fast, she was fearless. She dominated basketball with the same confidence she displayed on the track. In fact, she earned a scholarship to the University of North Carolina, where she helped the Tar Heels win a national basketball championship in 1994. Think about that for a moment. She was good enough to be a star in two sports. Not many athletes in history can claim that. And yet, it was the track that called her back. By the late 90s, Marion Jones wasn't just an athlete. She was a phenomenon. She set her sights on the 2000 Sydney Olympics, boldly declaring her goal to win 5 gold medals, a feat no woman had ever accomplished. The world was captivated. She had the confidence, the charisma, and most importantly, the speed to back up her words. Then came Sydney. Marion didn't just win, she dominated. 3 gold medals, 2 bronze. Her smile lit up the Olympic Stadium like a supernova. She was everywhere, on cereal boxes, magazine covers, talk shows, a role model for millions. America couldn't get enough of Marion Jones. She was, in every sense, a superstar. But as her star rose, whispers began to circulate. Whispers of doping, of performance-enhancing drugs, of an association with a man named Victor Conti and a company called Balco. At first, these rumors seemed absurd. Marion was articulate, pretty, charismatic. She denied everything, time and time again, with conviction so strong it made you believe her. She sued people who accused her. She looked straight into cameras and said, "I have never taken performance-enhancing drugs." And people believed. Why wouldn't they? But let's rewind for a moment, back to the mid-1990s, when a storm was quietly brewing. Marion's personal life was as intense as her athletic career. In 1998, she married C.J. Hunter, an Olympic shot putter who later tested positive for steroids. Hunter would eventually become a central figure in the unraveling of Marion's empire. Then came Tim Montgomery, a world-class sprinter and the father of her first child, who would later be banned for doping. It seemed everyone around Marion was falling into scandal. Yet somehow, she stayed untouched, or so it seemed. Behind closed doors, though, the truth was catching up. Balco wasn't just any lab. It was ground zero for the biggest doping scandal in sports history. Athletes from baseball to track and field were implicated, and the net was tightening. Federal investigators were building their case, and Marion Jones was a name they wanted. In 2003, Hunter told federal agents that Marion had been using banned substances for years. Still, she denied everything. The image of that powerful woman standing before microphones, proclaiming her innocence, it was almost Shakespearean, a queen defending her crown. But the walls were closing in. Evidence was mounting, and eventually, it came down to this. Marion Jones lied. Not just to the public, not just to the media, but to federal investigators. And in America, lying to the feds isn't just a scandal, it's a crime. October 5th, 2007. A date etched in infamy. Marion Jones stood before a federal judge in White Plains, New York, and spoke the words no one expected. "I have to tell you that I have betrayed your trust." Her voice cracked as she admitted to using performance-enhancing drugs and lying about it. The woman who once soared now crumbled before the world's eyes. The cost? Everything. Her Olympic medals were stripped, her records erased, her reputation shattered. And the ultimate blow, 6 months in federal prison. Think about that for a moment. From the pinnacle of Olympic glory to a prison cell. It's almost too much to comprehend. How does someone reconcile that fall? How does a hero become a pariah in just a few years? When Marion Jones walked out of prison in 2008, she wasn't the same person. The smile was quieter now, tempered by humility and hard lessons, but she refused to vanish. Marion began speaking publicly about her mistakes, warning young athletes about the dangers of shortcuts and the importance of integrity. She wrote a memoir, On the Right Track, chronicling her rise, her downfall, and her path to redemption. She even tried reinventing herself on the basketball court, joining the WNBA's Tulsa Shock in 2010. It wasn't the return to glory many expected, but it showed something else: resilience. And then, another chapter unfolded, one she kept private for years. In June 2024, during Pride Month, Marion revealed a truth she had long carried. She identifies as a gay woman of color. For decades, she had hidden this part of herself, living in silence, while the world defined her by medals and mistakes. In an emotional statement, she said, "My friends and family have known, but now I'm sharing it with the world. I'm ready to live authentically." She also introduced her longtime partner, Adele, in a heartfelt post. They've been together for over a decade, a relationship built on love, stability, and acceptance. Marion described Adele as the light, the gem in my world, someone who allows her to be fully herself, quirky, emotional, and honest without judgment. Today, Marion Jones is nearly 50 and a mother of 3. She spends her time as a motivational speaker and coach, partnering with Driven Incorporated to help professionals and athletes overcome obstacles on the track and in life. Her message is simple but powerful. Your comeback is bigger than your setback. When we talk about Marion Jones, we talk about scandal, but maybe we should also talk about reinvention, about a woman who refused to let her worst moments define her life. Marion Jones flew too close to the sun, and like Icarus, she fell. But unlike Icarus, she learned to rise, this time on her own terms. Perhaps her greatest legacy isn't the medal she once wore or the record she broke. It's the truth she carries now, that no amount of speed can outrun who you are, and that the most courageous race you'll ever run is the one toward yourself. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to comment, like, share this video, and subscribe to our channel for more content. Until next time.